Welcome to CPG Vibes. No script, just chat. We talk all things food and beverage and so much more. Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review. If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service or be a guest, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. Now your hosts, me, Alex Bear with Genius Juice, and Wade Yenny. All right. Welcome to episode 97 of CPG Vibes. We are making it just under the wire here before Christmas. We wanted to squeak one more show out before heading into the holidays and completely mentally checking out. So here we are on December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas. Wade, how you doing? You got the festive plain white shirt on for Christmas.
It's not wrong. That's where, let me correct you.
Oh, is there something? There is something on there. Okay, good.
Foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing. Yes.
Polar bear. That's white good. Polar bear, white Christmas.
Exactly. I'd turn around, but that'll spoil something. So I'll show later in the show.
Okay. All right. So that's good. People have to wait. Actually, the answer to the trivia question is going to be what's on the back of your shirt, right?
Well, that could be it could be. It could be. There's one person I know that'll know that one. I don't know if everyone will, but we'll see.
Renee.
It'll be interesting.
It's about
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, couple laundry list items. Make sure to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That's very, very crucial. We're still at 123. We've been stuck at 123 for the last, about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, so unacceptable, but we're grateful for the ratings, but unacceptable that it's been stuck at that. So please give us 5 stars. You go on Apple Podcast, on your iPhone, on your Android, or your flip phone. I don't think you can do 5 stars on those. So, and then also, if you'd like to sponsor our show, make sure to email cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And then thank you guys for also waiting. I know we started about 10, 15 minutes. They say waiting with a D or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You were definitely waiting while,
I was waiting. Yes.
Yeah. You were waiting and waiting.
That's right.
So yeah, play on words there. So thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for waiting with a T. And here we are. So we have some great, also our sponsor for this episode is it's Origo Brands, and they have 3 sub products. They have the agave nectar, they have the Avenidas coffee, and they also have the Monster de Guia. And we're going to have David Cisneros, the CEO of Origo Brands. He's going to be jumping on in about 20 minutes or so to talk about his product, his brand, and they have a crowdfunding campaign that's going right now, and they're going to crack 500,000 any day now. They raised 80,000 last week on Start Engine, and they're going to be hitting like 500,000 imminently, probably sometime either this week or in the new year. So it's really exciting. So Wade, how you feeling, man? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready for the weekend and the holiday. It's extra day off is always nice, and no big plans. Renee and I have already done the traveling for the most part that we had to do, and so we're just going to lay low and rejuvenate, recoup, and just hang out. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. Gonna unplug as much as I can on Monday. I'm gonna work part of the day tomorrow. Go golfing with my wife on Sunday, and then Monday through all next week. Just probably going. We're still planning it out, but somewhere in California. That's all. Some undisclosed location by car. We don't want to fly because there's, I think, 112 million people traveling for the holiday. And I don't want it to be 112 plus 3. So us 3 we're not going to be traveling. So at least not by plane. That's about it, and then I noticed some really cool things on LinkedIn with some people really showing a lot of gratitude this time of year. You saw Mark Samuel's posts were great this week about his father, and that was a very touching post. He also posted about just how grateful he was that he's on shelf and survived this year. So I thought that was a great post. And then the other thing I noticed, because we're just this community, right, where we all really know each other strongly and support each other, that Don Tolk right? Our man
Hmm.
Don Tolk also got promoted to be the CEO of Neolea, which they've been a sponsor on the show, and they have fantastic olive oil and like sea salt and other things, but or like oils, I should say, balsamic, but their olive oil is fantastic. And they've sent it to both of us. You probably
Yep.
had it for some pasta nights, you know. Um,
Absolutely.
so it's cool. It's
Great.
cool to see people are still growing even amidst all the challenges out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Don and the folks there, that team is fantastic. I think I mentioned a few weeks back, probably a month or so ago, I had a chance to meet him in person here, and he stopped by, and they also sent me a little olive oil, like fresh, you know,
Hmm.
fresh press type thing, just just last week, I think. So we got that. I'll probably break into that this weekend. So super
For
folks,
sure.
and yeah, happy, super happy.
Yeah, I have a recommendation to mix in uh, two different kind of brands into one. So take David Delcourt's Grown As Mac, Grown As Foods is the company, but his mac and cheese. Put a little bit of olive oil on that, and some sea salt, and you got yourself, obviously cook it, right? You got to
Right.
boil it. Raw would not really, it'd be a little too crunchy, but yeah, the mac and cheese with the olive oil is fantastic. So yeah. And then also the other thing I noticed on LinkedIn this week, because it's been a lot about gratitude and interviews and people are kind of winding down, is your interview with Luke Abbott, who's a
Yep.
sponsor, by the way. V Driven is our long-term sponsor, vdriven.com. But yeah, Luke Abbott started his new podcast, Reconnected. His first guest in the family, right? Jim Somek of
Right.
Jimbo's Naturally. And then guest number two was you. And I listened to it yesterday, and you probably got messages on it, on LinkedIn and texts on it, but I thought it was one of the most uh, just transparent, doesn't even explain it, just vulnerable, sharing it all. It might have been some tears that kind of
Mm-hmm.
came out, while you were talking. I could kind of hear it, as you were talking about your history in the industry and people that have really influenced you and helped you along the way and supported you to become the person you are today. So I thought it was a phenomenal interview. And for anyone who has not listened to it, just go to Apple Podcast or Luke Abbott's LinkedIn page, Reconnected. And Wade was just on there. It's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to put the link up for that here, and struggling a little bit. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can do that before I. There we go.
Yep.
Maybe not. Did it go? Was the link
No,
there?
just that's just the copy, just the
Why
text.
would it not? I'll get it.
Uh,
I'll get it there. But I can multitask here. But no, it was. I appreciate that, Alex. It's very nice. But I think Luke's doing great things with his show, and
Absolutely.
honored obviously to be a guest. He's kind of taken a little different spin on it than a lot of the other shows that are already out there, and really digging into to the heart and soul, if you will, the business, and
Hmm.
kind of played a little bit with Jimbo being the first. I said I obviously can't let him steal all the thunder, so we have to try and one up him a little bit. And yeah, it was just a natural conversation. Luke and I are close, and we talk frequently, several times a week usually, and so it was just a natural conversation. There wasn't any prep. I had no idea what he was going to ask me, and I don't know that he had wrote questions down. It was just more or less two friends chatting, and we did get kind of deep, and it was we got a lot of positive feedback. I know I have. I'm sure people have reached out to Luke as well. But yeah, I'm excited to see who he has come up in the weeks and months to come, and wish him all the luck in the world with the show. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really know. I mean, we've talked about Luke and just singing his praises so much on the show, but he really just supports the CPG community. He really comes through for everyone. He's a loving person, so supportive, doesn't ask for things in return. He just does it for, the hell of it in one way, just to support others and give to others. A very giving person. And I just noticed in that interview, a lot of that came out from you and from him, your personalities. And he also just, I was taking notes from a podcast co-host point of view on asking the right questions, because he
Yeah.
asked some phenomenal questions that just really got you talking and opening up about just everything, right? And in your past and your present and future. So the part about Renee was great, that you do everything together, and
Mhm.
you don't know when that's going to be your last day, right? So you just cherish every day. All those things. It was a great interview. And so yeah. So again, if you want to check it out, just go to Luke Abbott's podcast, Reconnected. It's good stuff. And then
And there's, I was going to say, we got the link there, and then
there it
we
is.
also have the link up there for V Driven and Luke's email as well.
Getting a
But yeah,
double promotion today.
exactly. He deserves every bit of it.
So some comments here. We're just going to shout out again. This is kind of a lighter show. Probably not all our regulars are not on, but some are for sure, and we can see that here. We got Sean Berg. He is the owner of SMB, which I can probably guess what that stands for. I know what the S and the B is. I don't know what the M is, but it's probably a middle name.
Maybe that's a trivia question today.
That could be it. What is Sean Berg's middle name? So yeah, it's I think his middle name is Margin. Sean Margin Berg. That's what he teaches people, right?
Like
All of his clients. So yeah, we got Sean Berg on here. We got Howard Wasserman, who I know we've connected on LinkedIn. I recognize the name. Has he commented on CPG Vibes before, or is this the first?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up here on LinkedIn here, but yeah, I recognize the name for sure.
And I believe I got a notification. I think Luke's watching. It's really strange, we talk about this sometimes, but sometimes I see the comments, all the comments in the chat box here, but other times I don't. And sometimes I'm getting notifications over there. So I don't know why LinkedIn picks and chooses what comments, or StreamYard, whatever's going on there. But we got Derek Gold here as well.
Yep.
You can see him. So
yeah, I see him too. It reminds me of the actor Eli Gould. Same last name. You know who he is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like yeah. Ocean's 11 and all that.
Yep.
I'm way more famous movies before that, like that he was the star in. Yeah, so actually I looked up Howard Wasserman because again, no script, just chat. We don't know what the hell we're doing on the show. We just see things and say things and interact and make fun of each other and then shout out people. That's the entire hour basically. But it looks like Howard Wasserman is the director of Mid-Atlantic sales at Good Now Foods, and I'm looking at the picture. They have a product called Protein Puck. That's an actual product, Protein Puck.
Nice.
I like that. That's cool. And so, a post that I did this week on LinkedIn that I thought had to be done, right, is calling out brands that are just doing really well over a long period of time. They're not like getting Kim Kardashian. Maybe they are, but it's just more quiet. They're not getting like millions of influencers, or they don't have millions of followers. They're just quietly crushing it. I call it. I don't like using the word crushing it, but I'm using it here, where there's just for so many years, 10, 15, 20 years, they're still in stores. They're still increasing in sales. They're still innovating. And so some of the examples that I put on there was, like Guru Energy, right? It's been over 20 years. They're a public company, which I just found out. I think they're in the Canadian Stock Exchange, not US. I'm not sure.
That sounds right.
Yeah, because they're a Canadian-based company. So there's them, and then there's like a bunch of others that I listed in my post, which I need to look up here because my memory. But I have a lot of respect for those companies, that just, they're not chasing an acquisition in 4 or 5 years. They're not raising tens of millions of dollars and then trying to grow at all costs really quickly. And obviously the climate has changed on how you grow your company sustainably. But I love when I see those stories where it's like 10, 15 years in and they're still doing well and they've expanded slowly and surely. The other brand that I really like, there it is, Toronto Stock Exchange. And Dima, right? There you go. There's one guy that knows it. It's the guy that's with Guru Energy.
Exactly.
And I actually bought her product for the first time because I'm not a big cookie dough guy, but Sweet Lauren's. Have you had her cookies before?
Yep, absolutely.
I met her 6 years ago at an investor pitch, and I'm like, she is a wonderful human being, like just passionate about her product, and her brand has been around, I think now 11 years or 12 years, I think 2010 or 11. And I bought it at Target yesterday. I'm like, I got to buy this. So tell me with her cookie, do you break it up into like the little balls and cook it, or you just bake the whole cookie? Like, what have you
I
done?
think typically we break off a couple of cookies at a time because Renee's mentality is if she makes the whole package, then she's going to eat the whole thing. So if we just do a
Right.
couple at a time, then you can space it out a little bit. So we try to indulge, but be sensible about it at the same time. So
Right, right. So you don't break one big cookie in two and you each have one half?
no,
That's portion control, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's funny. So, yeah, so I think, like, as we get to the end of the year, everyone's just planning for the next year and what's gonna happen. But, I think, there's gonna be, a torrential winter, and not weather-wise. I mean, it is raining here in LA, but for CPG brands, I think this is going to continue through most of 2024. Inflation has cooled a little bit, but I don't see any of this. We've talked about it a lot. Brands still will struggle. And my advice to CPG brands is keep your eye on the ball for everything, for margin. Don't overexpand. If you get an opportunity, if you're a natural brand and you get an opportunity where you're going to go into 500 Walmarts or something, you don't have to go in there. Like, it's okay to say no and defer that until your brand is more well known. But, I just spoke to a brand, I'll leave them nameless, that's heavily D2C. They're shelf stable, and they have these opportunities to go into these mass market channels, right? Or these conventional channels. And after listening to their story and talking with the founders and everything, my my opinion on it was just keep growing it in natural, keep growing it online, and their online sales are enormous. Like, compared to it, like they're in their first couple years, it's big for the first couple years. Their D2C sales. So, like, I really like the magic spoon model where you just grow your online sales as much as possible, and you get like just devout fans all over the country, and then all those people that bought it online, you email them saying, we're now in Walmart, we're now in Kroger, we're now in Fresh Market, we're now wherever.
right.
And then they're going to go to the store and buy it. And I think Midday Squares, which I have it right here, going to probably snack on this. They and I'm going to put some of this wild agave on top. That'd be a delicious snack. They also kind of use that model in a way. I don't know what you think, but they kind of made
Right,
it
right,
fast. Like, they were doing millions online before they even launched in the US, and they were in so many stores in Canada
right.
that their social media obviously is locked in. So from all that, when they launched in Sprouts, you know, I talked to a lot of brands, like, and sold a lot of brands where I see their velocity in Sprouts. It starts out slow, right? Because you're new and it's so many stores. I was shocked to see what MDS is doing, at least when they launched, what they were doing in Sprouts. Shocked. Like, I didn't even believe Jake when he told me, and then they posted it on LinkedIn. It's public information. But I believe that they were moving, when they launched, like anywhere from 6 to 10 units a week per SKU per store.
Right, right.
That's insane to me.
That's
Like,
great. It's great.
and without hardly any promotions besides maybe a 2 for $5 intro deal or something. So, yeah, so it's cool to see these brands that are doing well, and then you learn strategy on what they're doing. But there's no easy way to grow your brand. So just grow slowly and be conservative, right?
One size does not fit all, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, what else, man? I mean, what else is going on in the CPG world? What have you noticed this week?
For me, it's been kind of a busy week. As we this obviously it's kind of a looks depending on what side of the fence you're on. If you're in the retail stores, it's the beginning of the week was kind of the calm before the storm, but it's the last day or two the doors have started to come unglued. The traffic is real heavy. I was talking to David, who we're going to bring on here in a minute, before the show started, about you mentioned it too, traffic today in general. We went out around lunchtime and grabbed a couple things, and I was just where we're at, it's not the most heavily populated area, and I was just shocked with how much traffic there was around 1 o'clock already. It was just crazy. So hopefully that translates into some sales. And it's always hard to grasp Christmas because, with the rotate, the fluctuation in days, there's always some kind of shift. So you have to pretty much look at a 2 or 3 week period to see how, the week before, the week of, and then New Year's, and kind of compile that all together to see how you actually did, because there's no, week to week, most of the year, you're kind of looking to see how you did, over the same time frame last year. But with Christmas and the fluctuation in days and dates, it really kind of complicates things a little bit. So that's what most of my week has been kind of focused on that. And then of course, we've got people off, and just gearing up for the holiday. And so just trying to make sure all of our I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and getting ready to go into the new year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like you're mentioning, and we'll bring David on in a minute or two here from Orgo Brands, our sponsor this week, is weather has had a profound impact in general. Just the storms, there were storms in Florida. So Publix, in some ways took a hit. In other ways, people stocked up, right, on water and necessities. But I think the more luxury brands, the more, discretionary income brands, right, where if you have some extra cash in your pocket, you buy a mush oatmeal, or you buy a coconut water or a smoothie or whatever it is, but they're not necessities. I think those guys and gals were taking a hit. Even in LA here, I mean, when I went out for sales this week, just from the rain, so many stores took an enormous hit. Just people not going out. So yeah, there's a lot of factors, including end of year.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think, to that point, that's something that I think is pretty predominant right now in the market, is when you talked about inflation a little bit, and the state of the economy to begin with, but you're seeing categories, not necessarily decline, but they aren't performing the way you'd like to see them. Some of those discretionary categories, simply because the dollar's getting stretched a little thinner, and so people are focused on center of the plate and things of that, and some of those categories or items within the store that aren't must-haves are lagging a little bit. So the hope would be for the holidays that if there's one time to splurge and to kind of go outside your comfort zone with your budget, you typically want to make sure that you have the right things on the plate, and treat yourself well for the holidays and your family. So that's the hope. We hope for a busy couple weeks to end the year.
Yeah, exactly. I know a couple of retailers that are really enjoying the holiday season is Target and Costco.
Right.
I can't even get through the freaking door at Costco. It's like they're stopping you, like, sir, are you going to spend $400 here? No. Okay, get out. It's like, that's how it's just insane there. It's like people walking out with like 2 big screen TVs and, a coffin or something. They sell coffins at Costco now. It's crazy. Wow. That's a weird combination, TVs and coffins. I don't think that would, not a good thing to combine. All right. So we're going to bring on David here. So with Orgo Brands, and by the way, Wade, I think he'll probably send you a package after this episode, but their coffee is amazing. They got the Shintico agave. The other one, which I don't have on me, is their Monster de Guia. It's their barbecue salsa. But here we have David Cisneros. David, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Some entertaining things right on the show as you're waiting, right?
I promise not to cuss this time.
I mean, I can cuss for you, because if you don't cuss, that's bullshit, right? You got to
cuss. Well, I'm happy because every year I start looking more and more like Santa.
So tell us about, because you're this week's sponsor, about the products, and also want to leave enough time, because your Start Engine campaign is phenomenal. I mean, getting close to $500,000. It's really exciting. Very few brands ever crack $250,000, and you're heading there to 500. So tell us about those 2 buckets for us.
Well, first of all, thanks to your support and other good people, we are getting close to 500,000. We've got some investment we're working on to go even larger, and you guys know how hard it is to scale up. So it takes some funds, but we're a serious company. We've been in business. I was talking to Wade about our export management company for 30 years. We've been representing great brands like Cholula hot sauce and Grupo Modelo in Asia, and some other great brands like Ghirardelli Chocolate out of San Francisco. So we've got a lot of CPG experience. We've got a lot of great brands we've represented. We decided to do it on our own last year, and my family's from New Mexico. We've been there actually for many generations, 400 years. I grew up on very simple food, flour tortillas, pinto beans, green chile from Hatch Valley or Pueblo, Colorado. Those are always competing. And I decided to start this company, which is all about bringing real products from the origin, no criticism of Cisco, but it's not from, local products. Everything, all of our key ingredients are from Mexico or Honduras or Hatch Valley in New Mexico. So yeah, people are starting to understand that, hey, Latin food already is doing well. A lot of people love it. The Hispanic population is growing, particularly in the West. So, I think people are paying attention, and we really appreciate it, because this is the first and foremost, it tastes great. And we start paying attention to other things too. It's socially responsible. It's healthier for you. We're not just making delicious Hispanic Latin food. We're paying attention to all the elements of it.
Love it. Yeah. And the agave is really good, low glycemic. I have it like in my yogurts. I've been already using it. I'm not a coffee drinker, but tell us about because Wade, you are, right?
I'm not. I do a little bit. Renee's the coffee person in the house.
Renee that's right, his wife.
Yep, she's the expert.
Well, I'll send some to her.
Tell us about the sourcing of it. And it says Guatemala, and I see Hue. I'm not sure what this means.
Mango is one of the 9 growing varieties areas in Guatemala. I've been working in Guatemala for 20 years. I have an import partner there who imports one of our brands from our other company, Hain Celestial. And one day I was at his estancia in Antigua, and we talked about buying coffee directly from the farmers and the growers instead of going through a broker, to bring the price down and to give more of our fair trade concept, to buy directly from the farmers, give them more of a profit, and then sell it to the consumer at a lower price. So, a lot of people work with brokers, and that's fine, but we wanted to work direct from the origin to the consumer.
Great. And then distribution wise, I know you're, this has been off the ground for a couple of years now. You're in your first full year, I believe. So tell us where the product is available right now.
Well, our lead product is Shantico agave, because we're the only people in the U.S. now with agave powder, agglomerated powder, that we took 2 years to develop scientifically, so to speak. And we have coming out in January with a hot agave. I was telling Wade, it has Yabalica peppers from Jalisco, Guadalajara. It's delicious. It is different than Mike's Hot Honey, which is a great product. And we're confident we're going to do really well in the produce section and mainline stores and a lot of different placements. We already have brokerages we're working with in the Midwest and the East. We're working with a food service group called What Chefs Want, which has 16,000 stores. We're working closely with chefs to come up with all kinds of ideas for mocktails, cocktails. Basically agave goes in the kitchen, it goes in the bar, it goes on the table. We have powder sachets that can go in hot and cold drinks. So we're paying attention to all the different elements of how to make a product successful, not just tasting good.
Yep, exactly. And then let's go into your crowdfunding campaign before you go into the Christmas sunset here. So you started the campaign earlier in the year, right? And it's on Start Engine. I know there's investors that already that came in. There's also some from Start Engine. What's been your experience on crowdfunding? I know you work with me. I mean, you've already given me the praise on that. But what's just your feedback on crowdfunding, and how has it been, and how much work has it taken for those that are considering crowdfunding?
It's a lot of work, and to be honest with you, and right now in some ways, I don't know if this is other people's experience, it's hard to raise money right now. A lot of the money that we've raised has been primarily from investors that we've introduced to the project. I'd say about 25% has come from Start Engine investors themselves, and maybe 5 to 10% through social media, Facebook and all the work that we've done there. And that's a little different than we expected. But again, we have a lot of good friends, our suppliers, our distributors who have invested. So, I would like to see more from the start engine investors. I understand they tend to invest towards the latter part of the investment when you're closing out. So we're going to work hard in the last 20 to 30 days to bring those folks in. So again, our goal was originally 1.2 million. And I'm going to be really happy if we can double what we're doing now. And I think we can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been like crowdfunding is interesting where there's like a big spike and then it's level for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then it just suddenly spikes again. So it's like you said, it's a tremendous, tremendous amount of work to reach out to people. So anyone who's doing crowdfunding, just know, the work that David and his team has done, just witnessing it. They've probably reached out to every person they know within the industry, either by text, by phone, by email. So it's hard, but obviously rewarding in a market where it's hard to raise money.
It's a really good learning experience so that, we can move on to the next stage when we hit some sales targets. And as you said, last week we had our biggest week, strange enough, over $87,000. So
Amazing.
Yeah. So you just have to keep working at it. Don't give up.
Exactly. All right, David. Well, enjoy the holiday and hopefully
You
get,
too.
at least 24 hours off from being an entrepreneur.
And Feliz Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Año Nuevo to everybody. And thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate all you do. And thank you, Wade. I really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys in the new year.
Alex, before we let David jump, do we know what we're giving away? Because I don't think we had it listed. So it'd be a good time to have him tell it, and maybe we can just roll right into it, or at least plug it a little bit.
Yeah. So I know you sent us an email, but do you want to repeat to everyone here, what are you going to be giving away for the giveaway here?
Yeah, for different levels on our crowdfunding, we're giving away products. So we're going to do a full box of all of our products, all of our Monstro de Gia barbecue salsa flavors, a nice variety of coffee, and the full range of the agave. So you can try it all and make sure that I'm telling you the truth, that it tastes great. And I hope you enjoy it for Christmas and the new year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then as far as a giveaway for this episode, right, we're going to select one lucky winner. What did you want to send them?
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that box.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
big box.
Okay, that's very generous of you. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Excellent.
So you've heard it here, the big box. We're going to ask it at the very end of the show which is coming up in 5 or 10 minutes. And David, thanks again for joining us. And yeah, enjoy your holiday and be safe.
You too, my friend.
David. Take care.
Well. Thank you so much.
All right. So I think we're going to go to stuff we love next, right? Because we're running low on time.
We are, but I'm going to hold mine because I think in the interest of both time as well as, we have a smaller crowd here today because of the holiday.
Yeah.
I feel like I have the question.
Okay.
But the stuff I love might be tied to it. So do you want me, do you want to do your intro or for your part of stuff you love, and then we can roll into Friday freebies and I'll
Sure. And mine will be really, really quick. I wish I had, Michael Jackson instrumental music here because I just saw the new musical, the MJ musical. And it I don't know if they've toured yet, but it's in LA. So anyone who's in Los Angeles, it's at the Pantages Theater, and me and my wife saw it last night. It was the opening night. And we saw we knew we were going to see celebrities, but we saw Tim the Toolman Taylor was there.
Is that right?
Yeah, with his family. So that's Tim Allen for those that of Home Improvement. So it was a lot of fun. That's one thing that I loved. That's a show that I loved. And then as far as products, I already said it, is the Midday Squares. I think this is now their fastest growing SKU.
It's gotta be.
For cookie dough. Phenomenal. I like it better than all of them, with maybe the exception of the peanut butter, because I like that one too. All right, so that's mine.
All right, so we're gonna roll right into Friday freebies. And I'll ask I have something. It's just going to give away what the question is.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut you off for a second to do this little animation. Friday freebies. All right. So what is the question?
We know we have a reduced audience, so I'm going to try and make this simple as long as people were in the beginning of the show.
Gavin Conkel's going to get it.
I don't know. I don't know if Gavin was on right at the beginning. So, Alex, my question, I think the question is, you might want to have a backup just in case people weren't on in the beginning.
Okay.
What is on my shirt?
On the back or the front?
The front. The back will give away what the stuff we love. So that's it.
Oh,
what is on my shirt?
I like that. They're interconnected. I like that.
Yes.
So what's on Wade's shirt? Gavin, you might know this one, even though you weren't here at the very beginning. Maybe you were. And
Boom. He got it.
Bear.
He got it. All right. So
he's the winner for
stuff we
love. Brands.
The stuff we love. This is
Wandering Bear.
Bear cold brew from Tia and the team over at Wandering Bear. So Renee's been drinking this and has been enjoying it. And yeah, the logo is on the back of the shirt. So I didn't want to give that away. And I knew, like I said, we were tight on time today, so I didn't want to screw that up. So Gavin won, and
Derek Gould was late. LOL, I was late. And Derek Gould, I know we've connected on LinkedIn. Tell us who you're with or what you do again. I know you've told me. I'm going to look at it here.
Eye level, right?
Yeah, it's eye level. Yep, that's it. It was like in the back of my mind. So, and he'll probably answer in a second here. Eye level brands with David Abraham, which is, I think, to me, one of the few really great brokerages left. I mean, there's Sean Berg, who's more like a smaller boutique, but Eye Level is like bigger, but not as big as Presence, right? Or Acosta or Acosta. And I just think they're, like a great brokerage. I've met David, and a great guy, great team, and they get shit done. So I like them a lot. So cool. All right. Well, that's the prize, and I think we're going to end. We can end early if you want, because I think we have a smaller audience here. It's better to quit while we're ahead, right?
Yeah. Well, and everybody's excited for the get started for the holiday. And just a reminder, we won't be here next week. We're gonna take a week off, and we'll be back with episode 98. I don't have a calendar, Alex. What day of the week? Or not day of the week? What's that date in January? Is that January?
I think it's like the 5th or the 6th. It is the 5th. January 5th.
January 5th. So yeah, it'll be a new year when we come back, and I'm sure we'll have all kinds of cool stuff to talk about. So it should be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really excited for next year. I know Wade and I we're putting his bald head and my semi-bald head together to come up with new concepts, episodes with more about supporting the CPG community. We're still going to have guests here and there, but really some exciting things in the works for next year. So we're excited to show everyone here that's watching and all our regulars. So yeah, be safe out there. A lot of storms going on the East Coast and West Coast. And I think most of our viewers have been nice, not naughty, right? So they should get some great gifts. Right?
Absolutely. Enjoy the holiday. Have a blessed time. Spend time with your family. Be thankful for everything you have, and hopefully everyone has just a tremendous couple of weeks, and we'll see you here 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Make sure to downtime. I mean, that's something that I'm really focusing a lot more on with my life coach, that I tell every entrepreneur, and you already know what I'm going to say, is just burnout is real. Take the time off. Don't work. Don't check your phone every hour. Put it on, not only on mute or on airplane mode, turn the phone off, unplug, go to nature, and recharge, and just, recharge as much as you can to have a really strong 2024. And I've noticed that you don't have to work as many hours. You can get more done if you're in the right mindset and you feel really good and you're not burned out. And then also, when you're just feeling better, you make better decisions. Your mind is clear as well, and your energy is better, and people love being around people that have good energy. So yes, that's going to be a major focus of mine, Wade, is I'm putting together, not to get too personal, but I'm going to be doing yoga every morning, breathing exercise every morning. I'm going to go exercise 3 to 4 times a week. Hopefully this doesn't turn into one of those New Year's resolutions that lasts 3 weeks. But I just, burnout has been real. I felt burnout for part of the year and tired. some days great, some days not so great. So I just want to feel as great as I can each and every day, as great as I possibly can. Maybe not perfect, but better. So that's my goal for next year, and just little by little, right? I'm not gonna drill sergeant myself and like be like, okay, it's 8:30 a.m. Okay, push-ups. Okay, 9 a.m. Meditate. I'm not gonna be like that. Be a little looser. And the
You'll
other
get
thing,
burnt out a different way then.
different way.
Yeah.
The other thing too that I definitely want to implement is not to watch too much TV at night. I mean, I watch like streaming and stuff as a way of relaxing. And it's sometimes hard, right? You come home, you're tired, right? And you
Right.
just relax your brain. But I found that if you can either go for a walk, which I know you're big on, or a run or
Mhm.
after work with your significant other, and then also read before bed. Like that, for whatever reason, like reading before bed, and you like put that in your subconscious and you sleep and you absorb all that overnight. I found that to be really helpful. Not that I'm actually doing it, right? But I want to start doing it. So,
Yep. Where that's one of Renee's practices every night. She reads before bed.
and what do you do?
I usually, I
You sleep
usually, I
before
usually
bed,
read on. No, I usually read, catch up on the news on my phone, but and it
right?
usually lasts about 30 seconds before I fall asleep. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the hard part. Is if you work, which you do, and I do. We love what we do, and we love, just every day brings so much passion to it. There's not a ton left at the end of the day, and we're just tired, and we just kind
exactly.
of, so like also kind of conserving energy during the day, which is very hard to do, and not putting too much of myself in it, to have energy at the end of the day for family, to read, do some wellness. Yeah, so I think like my life coach is Dan Crothers. I've mentioned him before, and I'll mention him in the future. He's a fantastic life coach, and he's really helping me to see this side of being an entrepreneur. And he was an entrepreneur himself. He ran a healthy English muffin brand called Stone and Skillet for many
Mm,
years. And then he
yeah,
exited out of it on his side. He sold his shares, and he's really good at like getting you in that mindset to for wellness. So yeah, good stuff.
excellent.
All right. Well, love you, buddy. Have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. Everyone out there, also be safe. And we'll catch you in the new year.
Love you, buddy. Happy holidays.